1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, Dumelang. Hey, everybody. Can we settle down? We're just about to start. Thank you very much. Dumelang, hello everyone. Welcome to this Casa Laga Keep It Within media launch. My name is Clement Manyatela. I am a television and radio broadcaster, and I'm truly honored to be the MC of this launch of this incredible campaign. You're going to find out more about what Casa Laga will be doing to help communities and businesses in those communities. If you followed the Casa Laga brand over the last 127 years, you know that it's a brand that represents unity. You know, it's a brand that represents the values of resilience, you know, bringing South Africans together, whether it's through a braai, whether it's at a wedding or through a soccer match. And as they look forward to another 127 years, they want to inspire communities. They want to pay tribute to communities. And that's exactly what this Keep It Within campaign is all about. They want to reshape communities. They want to help small businesses and communities. I think you understand how important small businesses are. They are a bedrock of our economy. And when you assist businesses in the townships, you are assisting a lot of people in the communities. And when those communities grow, it's the entire South Africa that grows. So we're going to have a number of speakers with us today. And we'll start with someone who's going to be explaining the brand at a later stage. Wendy Bedforth, who is here with us. I'm just going to acknowledge some of the people that I see here who are also part of the campaign. Wendy is the brand director at Casa Laga. We have Georgina van Niekerk, who's the marketing manager at Casa Laga. We have the brand managers at Casa Laga, Kristen Golding and Luke Erickson. Thank you guys for being here. Brand manager at Castle Mixed Out, Kensani Mkombo. I've also spotted some faces here of some influential media personalities. Thank you guys for being here. And that also includes Lehau Sohwana Likau, who is a pioneering businessman. You know him very well, the founder of the Drip Group. We have Mfundo Mbeki, who is born from Tembisa, incredible businessman as well, who has founded the Rens Cape Town. We also have our campaign advocates, right? These are people that are going to help Casa Laga carry out this campaign and help these small businesses and communities. So we have the founder of Kasi Economy, Kabelo Makinta, and Tapelo Rapala, who is the managing director of MyDo Academy, and they'll come and explain what their partnership is with Casa Laga. We also have entrepreneurs that are currently being featured on our limited edition 500 milliliter Casa Laga can. You will see it shortly in a video. It's incredible, and I think a lot of township businesses are going to not only feel appreciated, but they will be encouraged when they see their faces on these cans, right? And it's going to be encouraging for community members to be given the opportunity to vote for their favorite businesses who can be featured and given the support that Casa Laga has invested in for. And you'll hear more about that at a later stage. Please feel free to tweet. You can hashtag It's Within. You can hashtag also Keep It Within. If you want to post on social media, we'll truly appreciate that. So before I start the chat with Wendy, so that we get to understand more about this Casa Laga campaign and how it's going to be carried out, I'm going to ask you to please look at the screens to get a glimpse of what Casa Laga is trying to do with this campaign.
Izandla ziyagezana, batuphile, a beer makaplan. As South Africans, we know each other, we grow each other, and we support each other. Why? Because we know the grass is greenest wherever we water it, and the power to make a difference sits in all our hands. That's why Casa Laga has decided to commit the might of our brand, our marketing assets, and our decades of business expertise to a purpose close to all our hearts: small businesses, the lifeblood of our economy and our communities. Kicking off this November, we'll be inviting South Africans to join us in generating much-needed support by nominating their favorite local businesses. Each of these businesses will stand to win the financial, marketing, or business support they need for their next step. From cans that put them right in the public's hands, to cash to fund their growth, as well as tailor-made interventions that give each business exactly the skills they need. At Casa Laga, we believe that if we can grow what's within our communities, then every part of South Africa grows. From Mambisa to Gooks and coast to coast, Mzansi, let's keep it within.
Can we give it up, please? Thank you. And I think you can tell this is a campaign that resonates strongly with the brand. It's not just a tick box exercise, and Wendy is going to speak to us more about that. So let's welcome, please, clap for Wendy Bedford, who is the brand director at Casa Lager. How are you doing,
Good,
Wendy?
how are you? Thanks,
Lovely.
David.
Love your skirt.
Thank you.
Looking beautiful. So I want you to start off by telling us about the campaign and why it resonates so much with the Casa Lager brand. 127 years. And I think this campaign doesn't steer off from what we've always known Casa Lager to be. So speak to us more about it. And why did you want to focus on the township economy?
The small business campaign for Casa Lager It's Within really is about recognizing and celebrating the good that exists within our communities. Because we know when we focus on the good is going to get better. And in this instance, the good in our communities are our small businesses. And we know that the small businesses help to grow our communities as well as our economy. As Castle, we really want to see our small businesses grow, and our goal in 2023 is to grow 50 Kasi businesses by 10% by the end of the year. And we'll do this by committing 34.5 million of our marketing support through our cans, our website, our social pages, as well as our sporting platforms that you know and love, as well as through business development and funding.
Yeah, that's incredible. And why township economy? Because you could have spent that 35 million rand, somewhere else. I imagine you've got a strong following on your social media pages. You've got a strong marketing mind as a strong brand as Casa Lager. So these businesses are going to benefit a lot. Why township economy? Why does that resonate so much with the brand?
I think as a homegrown national beer brand, sorry, let me hold this up, I don't think everyone can hear me. As a homegrown national beer brand, we really think it is our cause because we know that unemployment is probably one of the biggest challenges South Africa faces. And we've seen globally, and we know locally as well, that small businesses are the of our economy and our unemployment. With unemployment sitting at 34.5% for South Africa, as well as 55% of South Africans facing poverty in South Africa, we really want to focus on the good that is small business and focusing on that to make it better, right? So recognizing the good and just growing where we can and making it better and stronger. In terms of I think you asked me about why township businesses specifically, we've really seen the transformation of townships and what they represent to our consumers, and that is excellence. And that really comes through the stats. So we've seen that 44% of consumers are saying they're spending more within Kasi than they were previously. 75% of consumers saying that they will choose a local fashion brand over an international fashion brand. So why would you go to the burbs or to international brands when we have excellence right within our communities?
Yeah, you can just keep it within, right? So why keep it within? Because I mentioned two hashtags earlier, it's within and hashtag keep it within. Just explain the two for us.
Yeah, I think it's really reinforcing that point that I made earlier. It's about recognizing and celebrating the good that exists within our communities, within our small business, within every South African. And it's really a call to support the excellence that is these small businesses. And we have some fantastic examples here today with Drip, etc. So we definitely, we are, and obviously Casa Lager as well.
Yeah. We're going to talk about how you guys are going to roll out the campaign because it's going to get hectic. You're going to have a lot of people nominating their favorite businesses, and then those businesses have got to be selected. They have to go through a program to get skills development, etc. So we'll talk about that shortly. But before we do, I want you to check out the screens because you'll see the kind of cans that we are talking about here. These are the special edition 500 milliliter cans. And these are the cans where you'll see the faces of these incredible township businesses. And I think I'm so excited for them, and I think they'll be just as excited to see their businesses featured on these cans. So let's look at the screens. Can we clap for that, please? Isn't that incredible? So those are the cans. When are they expected on the shelves? Is it this week?
This week, they're actually hitting, they'll be in a bottle store near you this week or in a tavern.
Yeah.
We're really excited about the campaign. It'll roll out throughout 2023, and how it will work is that you can nominate, as you said, your favorite local business via our USSD string, which is star 120, star 1895, star your unique code hash. Standard USD rates obviously apply. But in terms of the actual campaign and what it looks like and entails, we'll profile 16 businesses quarterly. And that's giving them the marketing support that we're talking about through our cans, websites, social media, as well as our national sports platforms. And then those 16 businesses, through our partnership with MyDough, will be given a upskilled and training program, which we'll get into in more detail, as well as one business per quarter will stand a chance to win 40,000 towards their business development.
Ah, that's it. And how is that person going to win the 40,000 rand? Are you going to do the draw?
It's completely random.
Yeah.
So the 16 businesses, once your business has been vetted, we do have criteria around that. But they are completely randomly selected, as well as the winner of the funding out of those 16 businesses.
Let's talk about the vetting process, because these are going to be a lot of businesses that are being nominated. Some may be registered, some not registered. Which businesses are you specifically going to be selecting, and what's going to be that vetting process?
Look, we are looking to support businesses that are already in existence and legal businesses. We're looking for South African businesses first. That's our focus as a national brand, a South African brand. So those are the key criteria. We're also looking for businesses that make an impact on their communities. Obviously, every small business does, but we're looking for the unique essence of small businesses that impact communities more broadly.
Yeah, so the partnership with MyDough, you mentioned a little bit about this. How do they come in, and how is their involvement going to assist the businesses that you select? Are we talking about them being given the business skills that they need? Is it skills, training? What does it look like?
100%. So we recognize that giving marketing support and awareness is one challenge for a small business, but there are many other challenges, and we really wanted to support their growth. So we're trying to look at a more holistic approach to supporting small businesses. And so that's why we partnered with MyDough, who's a credible partner in small business development and skills up training and skilling. So we've identified 3 areas that we'd like to focus on with MyDough, and it's a specific program that we'll be introducing. So the first thing is around access to market. So giving these small businesses the opportunity for work opportunities with other small businesses within the platform, as well as tender opportunities, etc. And then the second one is around creating an entrepreneurial community that they can tap into, so they can collaborate, connect, and learn from other small businesses. And the third intervention is really the operational support that you're talking about, which is about the bespoke pieces of skills development, as well as business tools that will be given to them.
That's wonderful. And before you leave, I can already think, when you have a competition where people just SMS this to nominate, I can try to nominate as my business as many as possible, the business I want to be nominated ultimately. So how many times can you do it? In other words, am I allowed to vote as many times as I want?
Absolutely. There's no limitation in terms of how many times you vote for your favorite local business.
Okay. Wendy, thank you so much. Please give it up for Wendy.
Thank you.
So speaking of businesses, entrepreneurs that are doing amazing work, I want to bring in 2 people now who are actually just the epitome, and they represent what success from, especially beginning from the township point of view, is. So please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome 2 people that are going to talk to us about their journey of businesses this morning, and who are going to tell us about the tips that they have also for some of the businesses that we're going to be profiling throughout this campaign. So help me welcome not Kabelo. We're going to start with Lekau first. Lekau, please, can you come over to the stage? Please, let's give it up. Lekau Sihwana is of course the founder and director of Drip Group. We also have Mfundo Mbeki, who is the co-founder of the Rands Cape Town. Mfundo, please join us as well. Thank you so much, gents. When we talk about entrepreneurship, we often hear how difficult it is to start and the need to have resilience, the need to just keep at it. Let's start with you, Likau. How difficult was it for you? How did you start this successful business now?
Yeah. 16 years, of trial and error. So, like, you are right, it's not easy. It took me at least 16 years for me to actually get it right. And yeah, I started Drip in 2019, but it's actually a business that was, in the making for the past 16 years of my life. After I've tapped into fashion, I was designing sneakers myself, made out of recycled materials, denims, bags, caps. I was just that weird a township boy from Ivory Park. So that actually manifested something in me in creating Drip some 16 years later, after I've done so many other businesses, failed, Shisanyama, Cash for Scrap, actually named them, farming as well, poultry. So all of those businesses failed, but then later on in life, after going to school and then just saying, you know what, let me just try and then do something, then just go back into business. And that's how Drip was actually created.
What about you, Mfundo? Did you also go through this trial and error, or were you lucky enough to give it the first shot and boom?
No. It can't happen just a first shot. You have to go through the mud to get to where you will actually end up at. Because I remember when I started in Gugulethu with Chisanyam, the chicken dust. That was in 2010. During the World Cup, that's when I started. And then that time I was still working. The mistake that I did was I was working and then trying to manage this business, and then and my work, I was working outside the country. I couldn't get a good balance. Ultimately, the business crashed. It failed, and one of the things that I told myself was, if I were to start another business again, I have to make sure that I focus on it, I spend time on it. So that's what I did with Irens. Fortunately, I'm working with my younger brother, who's my partner. So we started in 2015, and it's been going strong ever since. Yeah.
So, Lekau, Mfundo mentions the issue of working and also running a business. And I want you to take us through some of the challenges you experienced in those 16 years. Because sometimes entrepreneurs, it's not easy to just quit your job and focus on this new thing that may or may not, in fact, succeed. And that's the tough decision they have to make. Do I give up my job, my 9 to 5, and focus here, and this thing may not work? Or do I do both? Were you faced with that difficult decision at some point?
No, I actually started off in business from when I was in high school. Even though I failed multiple times, and then later on, and one of the key things that made me to actually fail was lack of capital. So I said, let me just go to school, work, and then make money, go back to business. But just as when I was busy working, I forgot about business, and then I started enjoying. And then I lost my job, lost my car, lost everything. So I was I'm forced to now sit and say, what can I do? So that is how Drip was actually created. But I've never worked and then started a business and had to tackle it both.
Aren't you just grateful for those struggles, right? Losing everything, because it brings you back to your passion, right? And what you really want to do. Mfundo, do we have enough support? Because part of what Casa Laga is trying to do is help people like yourselves when you were starting, right? Or people like yourselves who already have established businesses, but you may not have the necessary skills, access to the markets, the campaign might that Casa Laga is bringing. What contribution do you think this kind of campaign is going to bring? Because having started a business, you didn't get the support like this, and you know how it can contribute to an entrepreneur who's just starting up.
Yeah, support plays a massive role in a person, most especially when they are starting the business, because unfortunately I never got any support, any financial support. So everything that we were able to build or to get to the level we're at, it was through whatever that we were able to source on ourselves. like by ourselves. So having Castle Lager coming on board, taking the center stage to say, you know what, we are here, we want to make this difference, we want to help small businesses. I think it's a great opportunity for all these entrepreneurs who will be exposed to this opportunity. I think it's one of those opportunities that we will never really get, because even if you were to look around with all the your business funding, whatever, I don't know anyone that I can say they were ever maybe funded by that. Now having Castle Lager saying, you know what, we are here, we want to make sure that even if maybe you don't get to win that money, but the fact that we will make sure that we'll be able to market your business and so forth. So I think it's a great opportunity for them. Yeah.
Lika, I want you to talk about the inaugural Township Retail Investment Summit, because that was launched, and interestingly it was launched with Mamrita, who was actually part of the first phase of this Castle Lager campaign. What is that all about?
So the Township Retail Investment Summit, I launched it with Jason McCormick, who's the CEO of Exemplar. It's a listed property company. They own assets, they own malls. And then Mamrita Zwane as well, who owns Imbizo Shisanyama, started in 1997 in my township in Ivory Park. So I struggled a lot, you know, when I was studying Drip. You know, there's a picture of mine that is actually doing the rounds on social media where I was selling between the robots, you know, selling sneakers, and there's actually someone who was actually buying, you know, a couple that was actually buying on that picture. And for someone to take the streets to go there and then try to get customers, it means that, you know, they're trying by all means to actually, you know, just push the brand. And I went there because we couldn't get access into the malls, you know. So for someone like me who owed banks the cars and everything, you know, when you say this is the mall, we have a shop, but we need statements and everything, I obviously don't have that, you know, but the mall is right in front of my house, but I can't sell anything into that mall. It's very painful. So I said, I'm with Jason, I said, I'm from that other side. You know, right now we have 23 shops, we have 350 employees, cool. But what is it that I can contribute to another like who's in the township, who's selling vegetables, who has a t-shirt brand? You know, how can I make it easy for them to actually access the malls as well? And also bringing in investors and then financials as well into the picture. Just sitting down like this and then having conversation with people from the townships. You know, right now there's a dope culture of actually young boys washing sneakers. You know, I spoke to Jason and said, you have to open a space for some boys who are washing sneakers and leaving them on the green grass in Ivory Park. It's happening today because of such summits that we actually have created. So that was the entire aim of me, just being the gap between what is happening in real big corporate business and then the township as well.
And it's so easy to, when you are successful and you have built something like Drip, you know, to forget about other people that are coming after you. So good on you for going back and saying, this is how I'm going to contribute to help people who are in the same space with me. Mfundo, you and your brother did the same thing. You partnered with Spelo from the Milk Restaurant. Talk to us about that partnership and how that helped revive that business.
Yeah, you know, COVID was actually very, very, very bad, more special for our type of business that we operating, which is your Chisanyama restaurant, as you know, that with the lockdown and everything. So it was horrible. Fortunately enough, we were affected by COVID, but we were not in a bad state in terms financially. That's why we were able to sit down with Spelo from the Milk to say, you know what, with all the challenges that you've encountered, I think we can find a solution, a way forward, and see how we can make sure that we rescue the business and make sure the business actually can grow from where it was to the next level. So it was a conversation that we were able just to sit down and say, you know what, this is maybe a way that we can find a solution and then move forward with it, besides closing the business.
So Keep It Within campaign, Lekau, is all about keeping it within. How do we get more community members to support the businesses that are in those communities. I don't think we're doing too bad at the moment, but I think there's more we can do in supporting our own and keeping it within, to borrow from this campaign message. What do you think it is that we can do, whether as stakeholders, Castle Lager is doing it through this campaign, to just get more people to say, there's that shop down the street, there's that baba shop, be deliberate about supporting it.
One of the things that I actually realized about the businesses in the townships is, in the township, they want to see you succeed. So the more they see you, now you are selling on the streets in Ivory Park, now you have a pop-up at the mall, they keep on supporting you. And then we have someone at our Pretoria store. So that guy stands outside the shop. Every time when someone comes out holding a drip bag, he takes a picture of them and then he makes money. The other time we're doing an event there with Caspanyo Vest. And that guy came to me with tears in his eyes and he said, my brother, thank you so much for this shop. You have no idea, but I pay rent and I support my family because of this shop. You obviously have to now step up and then also just get him a proper camera so that he can just continue, feeding his family. So we just have to go back and then recognize people that are actually trying, then invest in them, because they're actually contributing a lot. The informal market is actually contributing a lot into the mainstream economy, So the campaign is going to help a lot of my people, in terms of just recognizing them, putting them on a blast, social media, and then obviously just pumping that capital as well. And then also involving people like me who can just be the voice, and then just stirring it up and make sure that they actually grow.
Absolutely. Please, let's give it up for Lekau and Fundo. Thank you so much, guys. So we've heard from people who started businesses in the townships, and those businesses are incredibly successful now. They've spoken to us about how difficult it is. Often there's no funding. Often there's no skills. You don't know how to go about even managing your finances as a business, which is why the next conversation is so important, because we are now talking to people who have partnered with Castle Lager, who are going to help, put in processes that help the businesses with skills development, promoting their businesses. So please help me welcome Thapelo Raphala, who is the Managing Director of MyDough. Thapelo, thank you. And give it up for Kabelo Makinta, who is the founder of Kasi Economy Platform. So, sorry, are you good? Lovely. We just heard from Lekau and Fundo, and I think Thapelo, they've spoken a lot about how difficult it is to start. Often, not only you don't have money, but also you're struggling with some skills that you need, and that's what the work you've done as MyDough. Just give us a background of what you do as MyDough and how do you help township businesses.
Well, thank you so much for actually having us, and we're excited as MyDough actually to be part of this journey. And I think personally for me it is close to my heart, because I grew up in a space where I was selling at our spaza shop go high. My dad was a mechanic, so I grew up under cars, helping him fix cars. And I saw firsthand, the challenges that he would face, where sometimes, suppliers will pay late and he doesn't have money to pay employees, or sometimes he doesn't have money to buy stock, and when clients come to fetch their cars, he couldn't deliver, So those are daily challenges that our entrepreneurs face, in the townships, in the villages. So with that, MyDough was then started and is run by entrepreneurs. So we are entrepreneurs and we understand these things. So what we then do as MyDough is we really partner with business owners to say, how do we help you professionalize your business? How do you even more, help you participate in the formal economy? Because I think businesses in the townships and the villages are known for survival, But we're saying, but we've got to be more than that. So what we help then with, at its bare minimum, it's one, speaking a simple language to our entrepreneurs. There's often big jargon and red tape, and the compliance is so difficult, they can't interpret some of these things. So for us, it's particularly important. One, let's break down sales. What is it? People throw around big words, B2B, B2C. What is that? For someone who's in Soweto, how do they build their sales pipeline? How do they expand? Two, there's a lot of compliance. You know, I think we all know that South Africa is really full of red tape. You know, you only trip when, you know, a police is outside to say, where's your permit? You know, so those are things that we engage and say, you are in this space, what is it that is required at a minimum? So that you don't spend 3 years, but spend 3 months, you know, in making sure that you've got everything in order. But beyond that, I think it was mentioned earlier, access to market is important. So what we have done, actually, we've got a digital platform, actually, that we use to support our entrepreneurs. And the reason why for us is we want to be able to reach any entrepreneur from anywhere in the world, actually, anywhere in the country, with the ability to be able to trade. You know, just in us launching the feature, in just 2 months, the SMMEs in the space had traded 1.1 million rands. So you can see that there's buying power within our businesses. So we've got that, we've got tenders, you spoke about tenders, to say, how do you even apply for a tender? You know, what documentation do you need? You know, so we teach the how, you know, which is the big missing part, to say, okay, you've got to comply with work X, Y, Z, but how, you know? So that's where we really come in a lot of these things, but we can affect further.
Yeah, that's just incredible. Kabelo, then you bring in Kasi Economy, because you can know the know-how and have the papers, but your business is not known, right? And you're not tapping into that buying power that Thapelo speaks about. Give us background again around Kasi Economy. How was it founded, and what's the kind of work you do to help these businesses?
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I started Kasi Economy around 2020, but before lockdown, like during the early months. But when lockdown hit, I had to like evolve and adapt and use the digital space to promote businesses. For me, it was painful during lockdown to see lots of people coming back from home, losing their jobs and stuff. And during that period, I can arguably say that it was when the entrepreneurship in this country was activated. People started opening businesses in the township. I stand to be corrected, but yeah, most businesses were started around that time. So, and another thing, I started it out of frustration. Before, I'd say before 2020, it was difficult to read about a successful township entrepreneurial journey. It was non-existent. Right now, we say it like it's the township economy. It's like it's everywhere. But back then, it was difficult. So I had to go through all these Facebook groups. Like literally, I had to write down every township, all 500 of them, and just join these Facebook groups and just look for township businesses and stuff. I would spend hours and hours without expecting anything in return. So I was really moved by that spirit of Ubuntu, and when I started, it was a difficult processes, but then when time progressed, the page just blew up. We received lots of support, and the goal was to make township businesses fashionable, right? And I'm very glad that Castle Lager has joined in. Most people don't know this, but Castle Lager was started in a township, believe it or not. It was started in Marshalltown before it was the city. So the story of Castle Lager also resonates with your typical township entrepreneurial journey. When Charles Glass started Castle Lager, he didn't have funding, believe it or not. So he had to go and look for funding. So I'm very excited to be part of this campaign. The work that we do, we basically promote township business, because sometimes you can have all the creativity, everything, but then if you don't have the exposure, your business is practically non-existent. So my job, I make it sure that I put them on. I've been doing this since 2016. Even Lekau, my brother here, I promoted his business before it was fashionable. I've been doing it like every single day. So I'm very, very passionate about empowering and giving exposure to the township economy.
Yeah, and yeah, you can clap to that. Yeah, that's incredible. Tabelo, let's now talk about your partnership with Casa Laga. You've spoken about the kind of work that you do. How is your platform going to come in when this campaign is carried out?
So what we learned over the years is it's not only enough to just give instructions or give advice. So where the platform comes in is the how part. Because we all know on a daily basis, you're up at 6, you're at bed at 10 or 11. So you're on the go. So the platform is really for that. Literally through the app, you can download an employment contract. You can download a HR policy. You can download a tender document. That's what it's for. So that's what we're bringing to the table to say, we know you're busy, and I don't want to put you in a classroom or a workshop and just you stuck there. You've got money to make, but we still want to support you on a daily basis. So that's the support that we'll be bringing through the technology, and also educating to say, you know what, we're good at using the LinkedIns of this world. Here's a platform meant for entrepreneurs where you can ask for advice, where you can share an experience in your business, and let's collaborate, let's partner. So we're using that platform to just bridge the gap of working in silos as well, getting them access to market, having a community of other entrepreneurs to support you, and also really then getting the business tools that you need on a daily basis to run your business.
Yeah, and with Casa Economy, Kabelo, how is it going to work with Casa Laga? So obviously there are these businesses that they will select, people are going to vote. So once you have the names of those businesses, when do you come in and how do you come in using your platform to promote those businesses?
We have partnered with Casa Laga to obviously give exposure to these businesses. I think it's 16 of them. So from what I know, every week we'll be doing different campaigns, giving more exposure to these companies. The goal is obviously to inspire hope amongst the township economy, and we have we are working on different campaigns, and over the next couple of months, we will be working with Casa Laga, doing the best we can to push them and just inspire hope.
And Tabelo, what are you hoping to see, speaking of hope, with this campaign? I mean, every quarter, 16 businesses. At the end, we're going to have about 40. There's a lot of money that's being put into this. There's a lot of stakeholders that are involved. What would you like to see?
I think for us, we understand how hard it takes to build a business, and I think ours is to bring efficiencies, to bring the support that they really need to saying, I can build a successful business. I'm not just surviving. I'm hiring, I'm getting, unemployed youth out of the streets, So that's how we come in and say, let's back you up, let's support you in everything that you need so that you, at the end of the day, build a business that goes beyond you.
That's incredible. Thank you so much, guys. Please, let's give it up for Kabelo and Tabelo. Thank you so much, guys. And I think that just goes to show the kind of assistance that businesses need, right? And the role that Maido and Casa Economy are going to play in really helping us assist these small businesses. So thank you so much to Tabelo and Kabelo. So I want to now bring in people that are going to be featured on these cans. We told you about these limited edition cans, and there are people that are going to appear, their faces. I think the can takes about 4, and hopefully you'll have an opportunity to feel and take a look at the can. It takes about 4 people. So please help me welcome the people that will be featured as the cans go on the shelves this week, and I'm sure they're very, very excited about it. We'll start with Tini Nkuna, who is the founder of Lindiwe Sanitary Pads in Pretoria. Let's also welcome Obriko Ma, who is the founder of Optech Kitchen in Polokwane. Thank you so much, guys. Before we actually even talk about your excitement, because I'm sure you are excited that your businesses are going to be featured on the cans. Let's take a look at what it's going to look like. And some of you have reacted, in fact, when you saw your names on the cans. So please check out the screens.
So I was actually so excited. I was actually looking forward to this. Every day I would imagine my face on the can like this. So I couldn't wait to see my face on the cans.
So this is a good exposure for us, which we really appreciate and we do not take for granted.
They're very excited listening to their voices. How did you feel, Austini, when you saw your face on the can? It's going to be featured when the cans go to the shelves this week.
It's hard to explain how I felt, but for me it was more of a validation to say, girl, it means whatever you've been doing, for a brand like Castle to want to be associated with you, then you know what, you're really doing something great. So it wasn't really excitement. There wasn't really an excitement. Yes, excitement was there, but it was more than just excitement. It was more of validation to say, you know what, you're on the right track, and yeah.
How about you, Aubrey?
I was very excited. I don't want to lie. The excitement came from, how let me say, the difficulties it is to get into a marketing space. Like, as a small business, it's very difficult. Even from where I'm coming from, it was actually difficult to tap into the market. So now to get such an exposure, I mean, it's huge. Yeah. It's a very big thing.
Please tell us about your businesses, Stini. So you are with this incredible business, and you are offering sanitary pads as well. Tell us about what you do just broadly as a business. What do you cover?
So Tini is an ID name. I don't use that name. So
you don't
my
like
name
it?
is Lindiwe.
You like Lindiwe? Not Tini.
Yes.
So who calls you Tini?
Nobody.
Those who know you at
Yeah,
home?
when I'm applying for something.
Yeah. Okay, you're not applying for this because you've got it already. So Lindiwe, eh?
Yeah, so that's how I really catch the scams,
Yeah.
the scammers. When they call and say, "Hey, Lindiwe, I'm calling you from FNB." I'm like, "But FNB,
No,
you don't know
they
me
don't
as
know
Lindiwe."
Lindiwe.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was your question?
I'm asking you to tell us more about your business. That's the background and what you cover.
Okay. So I own a company called Lindiwe Sanitary Pads. We manufacture and distribute feminine hygiene products. We started with sanitary pads, just sanitary pads. We then moved now to also include panty liners. We now also, because of demand, we're now going to introduce tampons. We are big in retail, in the wholesale department and stuff. We've just been listed at Clicks as the house brand supplier. We're at very advanced stages. We're at very advanced stages with Discam as well, with listing. Very promising there. Just this afternoon, actually, when I was coming here, I got a call from ShopRite. They want to see me on the 6th, so we are going somewhere.
Well done.
Yes, oh yes. But also, before that, my favorite part is that I won the 2022 Presidential Black Industrialist Women category.
Well done. Well
Yeah.
done. Well
So
done.
so we employ, in our peak, we employ about 96, 94 women, day and night shift, so it will be 45 during the day, 45 at night. We are an army of women. We only have 2 men that support us from there. Yeah, so yeah, I'll leave it there for now.
Well done. That's incredible. Yeah. And Optech Kitchen, what do you do, Aubrey?
Maybe let me start from where we started. It started as a dream. It started here in Polokwane. After I did my matric in 2008, I came to Pretoria to further my studies. I was doing engineering, things didn't go well, and then I was introduced into carpentry, which I fell in love. Things didn't go well, and then I had to be on my own. I met a good Samaritan by the name of Thandi Magweya. She was staying in Polokwane. We were doing her kitchen unit here in Pretoria. And she said to me, "Aubrey, you look different." I said, "How do I look different?" And she said to me, from this whole team of you guys, I think there's something in you. I said, but I don't understand. What do you mean? And she said to me, there's potential in you. And I think you can make a good living if you relocate to Polokwane, if you don't mind. I was still young. I did not understand so many things. So she said, if you don't mind, next month my house is complete. You can come for the kitchen units and the ceilings and everything. I'm just going to give everything to you to finish the house. It was a tough decision, leaving my friends here in Pretoria. Yeah, so I had to consider that move. 2012, I moved to Polokwane. Yeah, she took me in her house for 4 years. I was living in her house. So you can imagine, a stranger became a mother. So when I got to Polokwane, we started the project, we finished. And she said to me, Aubrey, now the project is done. So tell me if you want to go back to Pretoria. I said, Tandino, I think I want to stay here. Then I was introduced into the tender systems. But remember, I was still small by then. I did not know much about tenderings. I was only doing supplies, like you can just supply small 30,000 rands. But I knew what I wanted. I was saving money. 2016, I bought my first set of machine direct from China. I was just taking a risk. Just got into internet, searched wood cutting machines, they appeared, and then I sent money, hoping the machines will be here.
Risky, right?
Yeah, risky. So the machines got here in Durban. When the machines got to Durban, I was called to say, your machines are here, but now we need custom clearing money. I said, what is that? I thought I paid everything. Yeah. They said, no, Baba, you need to pay 68,000 to clear the machines and the custom. I did not have that money. I had some plans. I got the money. The machines were delivered. I opened my first shop in Mankweng, just outside Polokwane. That's where everything started. And then from Polokwane, we were blessed. And then we managed to get our second branch in Polokwane in the CBD. Yeah.
From those humble, let's clap for that, wow. And that's the thing about being an entrepreneur, you've got to be more risky. Yeah. What challenges have you faced, Lindiwe, when you started the business? We were speaking to Lekau and Fundi, and Lekau is 16 years of trying to build something. How long did it take for you, and other specific challenges that you came across?
So I would say I was actually born in a family where my dad was a polygamist and all the mom and a businessman, and all the moms never actually worked. So they were working in my father's businesses. So one would be in the bottle store, the other one in a shop and all of that. So growing up, I never had role models that would wake up and go to work. So when I passed matric, my dad asked me, when I was doing matric, was like, what do you want to do? I wanted to start a business. I wanted him to buy me a franchise, And then my dad was like, no, you're too smart. You must go to university. That's how I ended up in Pretoria University. But I've never worked all my life. After university, I then started my business. So I've been bruised a lot. And also the dynamics of South Africa in terms of when you're doing a business, when you want to start a business and all of that, it's not easy. And also because you actually never get everything under one roof. There's no one-stop service where you actually go and register a business, do this. You sort of have to go all over the place to actually sort of formalize your business. So so I think for me, that was what was the frustration. And also because now I wasn't operating in the rural area where I was born in Guyana. Now I was operating my business in the city, which was very different. So those were the challenges that I actually had to face. But ultimately, I'm actually a product of enterprise development. So that actually helped a lot as well too. Yeah.
And what about you? Specific challenge, and also when you're going through that journey, and what I got from you, Bra Aubrey, is you don't know much, right, about how to run a business. I mean, you're Googling stuff. How difficult was it to just rely on yourself? And I'm sure you were getting, Sis Thandi helped you a little bit, but most of the things, you almost have to figure them out yourself.
No, it was tough. I don't want to lie. It was very tough. But I think my biggest challenge when I finally got in was to control my waste. You know, when you're into manufacturing space, your biggest challenge is waste. If you don't know how to control waste, and then you might find yourself on your knees. So I had to, because I was actually relying on people, you know, when you are new in the area and then you are starting a business, you don't know much about the people that you are employing. Some, they will just put something there on the CV so they can look relevant. But then now, my main challenge was waste. I had to get the systems that will actually control waste. Because I think before we get the system, we were actually throwing away maybe 40% of the raw material. I think that's where my problem was. But ever since we got the system, almost 90%, I think things started to run very smoothly.
Yeah, so Lydia, what are you hoping this Castle Lager campaign will do in helping the small businesses? Because I'm sure you're sitting back and thinking, oh, you know, if this campaign was there when I started, I would have learned this, I would have done this. What do you hope this is able to achieve, especially for the small businesses, having been there yourself when you started?
I think I'm hoping it will help shine the spotlight on the small businesses to say, hey, there's these people that are doing the most, that deserve the support of not just SAB, but South Africa as a whole, and to just spread the gospel of saying, buy from SMMEs, you know. Do not take it for granted that just because there's a small spaza shop in a corner there, then when you buy there, maybe you're just, it's not fashionable. And then you want to go to the malls. Rather support that, because when you're buying from an SMME, that means a child that night sleeps with food on the table. Yes. So I'm hoping it's gonna do that, and I also believe, I don't know why, maybe for me, I keep talking about the fact that this whole association with Castle Lager was sort of a confidence booster, because the entrepreneurial journey is very lonely, right? It's very lonely, and it can damage your mental health, right? So whenever you and SMMEs get some sort of something to somebody to walk the journey with them, that's something we don't take for granted, because it's not always there for us. You know, it's not like when you're in corporate, then there's your colleagues that you work with. There it's just you and you alone. In our space, it's just you and you alone. And with me, you can imagine, it's me alone, and then there's 96 women that are calling me, sending, please call me. Hey, auntie, my child is sick, but you got paid. But you can't do like, you know, you can't just say, but you got paid. You actually need to do something for that person. So you can imagine you carry the weight. So when you've got somebody that walks the journey with you, you've got a company like, a brand like Castle Lager, giving you the support, the resources and all of that, then it sort of takes out a lot of weight. I was so excited when the lady was talking about how there's going to be this platform, and then there's going to be resources that we can have access to. I was like, wow, that's impressive. That's what we need as entrepreneurs, yeah. So.
And your hopes, Bra Aubrey?
Okay, I will just be brief on this one. She said mouthful. You know, we are just 30 kilometers out of Polokwane. And then I hope this campaign will actually change the mindset of how people view things, because you find people traveling that 30 kilometers still going to Polokwane to get the very same service that you are offering here. And they are still having that mindset of things are cheaper in town, you know. But when it's weekend and we get to chill and have these nice refreshments like your Castle Lager, we don't go to Polokwane. We prefer drinking here in Kasi. So I think that can actually change the mindset of how people view things, especially in the business space. Thank you.
And to add on this, right, I'm hoping that this will actually, over and above shining the spotlight on SMMEs, it's also going to drive the narrative that being a small business or being a black business does not necessarily mean cheap and does not necessarily mean
let's
ask for
clap to
discount. Yes. So it must be treated with respect. We must buy at the price that they are asking for. And also for us as entrepreneurs as well, it also puts a challenge to us to say, well, I can't sort of drag my feet if I've got a brand like this supporting me. If people pay for services, if people pay for my products, I must deliver. I must not be a typical SMME that switches off my phone once I've got, So those are some of the things that I'm hoping this will bring.
And those businesses destroy the reputation of other SMMEs, right?
Yes,
And then people generalize and say, ooh, those businesses, and easy. But we need to completely change that. Lindy and Aubrey, we're very proud of the work that you do. And thank you for being part of this. I can't wait to see your faces on the can when I'm enjoying my Casa Laga at home. Thank you. Let's clap for them, guys. And with that, that's how we launch the Keep It Within campaign. I want to particularly urge you to be deliberate about supporting small businesses. I think we see what Casa Laga is doing, but what this campaign is, I hope it's going to do, is encourage you and I to take it a step further and be deliberate about supporting small businesses, because those are the businesses. And Lindy has said, when you support a township business, you are ensuring that there is a mouth that is being fed, and we need to think about it that way. So please, let's give it up to Casa Laga for this incredible campaign. If you want to find out some more information, you can go to www.casalaga.co.za or follow the hashtag It's Within. Another hashtag is Keep It Within if you want more information on this campaign. Let's also encourage a lot of South Africans, even ourselves. We can vote for our favorite businesses. And how you vote for your local business, you buy, obviously, the can. That's where it starts. And then while you're enjoying it, you dial star 120 star 1895 star. Then there's going to be a unique code, and then hash, and then you nominate your favorite business. And hopefully it becomes a business that Maido, the Kasi economy are going to take up. And ultimately, it may win that ultimate prize. So members of the media, there are going to be interviews on the foyer, and dinner will be served on the deck. Thank you, everyone, for coming.